You're um, exhausting me just a little bit, just talking about all the things that you've
Yeah,
done. You've got this hobby that's becoming chairman of the board of an entire
yeah.
magazine CEO. Did you find yourself bored as a young person in school? Did you need more of a challenge than was provided, and so you sought one out?
No, I wouldn't say that. I'm not a particularly good student. I didn't get awesome grades either in grade school or high school or in engineering school. I it's not, let's see, anything I've done doesn't come from intelligence, if that makes any sense. I'm not what you would call a highly intelligent person. What I am is focused, and I work really hard. And so in the case of writing, you could also say I'm determined, meaning I didn't give up. And that's one of the themes in my books. In Serafina series, it's stated explicitly, and that is the phrase that the characters say to each other is stay bold, meaning stay courageous, stay strong, even when you face very difficult obstacles and it seems like you're going to fail, or even if you have failed, you stay bold, stay strong, and you keep going after whatever your goal is. Now, in the case of Serafina, her goal is to, stay alive, not get killed, and to save her friends and to save Biltmore Estate and so on. In the case of Willa, it is to save the animals and save the people that she loves, to save the forest that she loves from the loggers and from the dark forces that are coming into the forest. But in my case, the stay bold was to keep writing and to not give up. Because, I received many, many rejections on those early books, and many other people would just give up. They would just say, well, I'm not a writer. I'm just not born to be a writer. And I didn't believe in that idea. My thought is writers aren't born, they're made. I'm going to make myself into a writer, even if it takes me many years to do it.
And I should point out, you were also a champion fencer while you're doing all of these other things.
That's right. So
You
also
must not half do anything. You must put your whole heart into every task.
That's right. Yeah. So I played with swords like broomsticks and things like that when I was in high school. Again, remember, I read a lot of medieval fantasies. And then I actually, when I went to university, in my very first term, I joined the fencing team, the kendo team, and the what's called Society for Creative Anachronism, also known as SCA. And these guys dress up in full plate armor and fight with broadswords. And I joined all three of those because I was really into sword fighting and that sort of thing. But eventually I realized that fencing was really where I wanted to do. So I dropped the other two and just focused entirely on fencing. And it was really my great passion in university. So I got a degree in engineering, but when I was there, my mind was really very much on fencing and on the books that I was writing at the time. Yeah. So I was saber fencer, which is a highly competitive, very aggressive sort of fencing weapon. The foil fencers think the saber fencers are barbarians because it's such an aggressive sport. But I really enjoyed it. There was a point where I thought, okay, I love this so much. I don't want to become an engineer or a software programmer. I don't want to do that. Instead, I want to be a full-time fencer and become a fencing maestro. So that was one of the things that I really wanted to do, but you have to follow, unfortunately, you have to choose a path, and you can pretty much only follow one path. And so I chose to continue on with engineering and writing.
Who taught you to be bold?
Oh, good question. I'm not sure, actually. I imagine my dad, but it wasn't any explicit or specific incident or inspiring discussion or anything like that. But in terms of my family, I would think I'm the most like my dad. But then my brothers, I have three brothers, they were also very much a part of raising me.
you ever come across something that you wanted to do and just found it to be too hard and then stopped?
Right up to that stopped part. So I have found things that were too hard for me to do, but I keep trying, and then I would eventually get good enough at that area that I could succeed in it. So to give you an example, I wanted to be an engineer, but I wasn't very good at math, and I didn't take calculus in high school. I'm not even sure if it was offered, but even if it was, I was not a good enough student to be in that class. But the first thing you have to do when you go into engineering school is to take about 2 years worth of calculus. So I failed my first calculus class, and at that, as many engineering students do, and they just drop out of engineering and go into something else. I just said, okay, I'm going to take it again. So I took it again and got a 4 on it. And then I said, okay, I'm going to take calculus 2. I failed it, took it again, got a 4 and so on. So I'm, like I said, I'm not very smart. I'm just very determined.
And you're doing that while thinking, I'm going to eventually become a professional fencer / novelist.
Yes, that's right. Yes. So I follow my passions for sure.